James of PIXELOCCULT is one of my favorite artists. I do have a collection of his decks. I don't have all his decks, sadly. And there's no real reason why. I just don't feel attracted to the 2 decks that I haven't gotten from him yet. Not that I'm not attracted, it's just... Anyway, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Casper, the Boy Diviner, and I talk about tarot decks that I have or I plan to buy. You know, if you're interested in tarot and want to know what's coming up, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I hope whatever content I make serves you in some way. Today I'm going to talk about PIXELOCCULT. He has, I think, 5 decks out now. The first one that he did was the Sinking Wasteland Tarot. I don't have that one. Then the Neon Moon Tarot, which I have. He then worked on the Adorabyssal Oracle, I think, the Adorabyssal Oracle, which I don't have. And then the Wayward Dark Tarot that I have. And then most recently, the Lost Hollow Tarot that I also have. I've done a walkthrough of the Neon Moon and also the Lost Hollow Tarot, and I'll try to put it in the cards up above. So the Sinking Wasteland Tarot and the Neon Moon Tarot are both like opposite versions of apocalypses. So I really enjoy the idea of apocalypse, things that happen to humanity, things going to shit basically. And James really put into the cards that kind of vibe, that kind of world. I think James's biggest strength in his art is world building, and you can really see the world in the Sinking Wasteland Tarot. At the same time, I don't know, it does feel a bit too dark, a bit too sad to be using. I don't personally enjoy the color that was used, the main color, so I never gravitated towards that deck. That was his first one. I didn't feel like I needed it. At the same time, because I'm a fan of cyberpunk, when I first saw the Neon Moon Tarot appear on Kickstarter, I knew I had to get it. This is one of my first Kickstarter campaigns, and it was really, really smooth. As usual, James is really a king at Kickstarter. He knows how to do his shit. I think when you're using neon colors on screen, it appears very bright because there's backlight in your camera or in your iPad or in your phone. And then the real print version doesn't look as bright. Apart from that, because of the cardstock, because of how black it is, I tend to leave a lot of fingerprints, a lot of scratches on the cards. So that always makes me feel a bit uneasy. So this is his first version of the cardstock, which is normal cardstock. I feel it's a bit mushy. It's okay. I've blocked people because they commented on my video saying how the cardstock is totally fine. It is fine. I never said it wasn't. I'm just saying it's not something I'm used to, something not that I enjoy shuffling. Every time I shuffle, it doesn't have the snap that I really enjoy. I'm not sure about the cardstock now. I don't know if he changed it. I think he also created a tin for the Neon Moon Tarot, and I do like some of the new renditions of the cards. So what James does is sometimes after he releases a deck, he gets inspired, he creates a new version of the cards that are already here. So if you support him early, you get Kickstarter alternate cards, but if you support him late, you get new cards that are not in the original, you know? So it's a win-win, I guess. I do miss having that chance to get those new cards. I think he did sell separate packets of those, but I didn't manage to catch it. But in any case, before I ramble too much, this is the Neon Moon Tarot. I've done the full walkthrough, but I really just wanted to show off how he built this world. Do you see it? It's a cyberpunk world with magic and with tech. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck, the Hierophant. I think we could have asked for a postcard or something when we got it. One of the major arcana, I picked the Hierophant. This Hierophant is so interesting to me. It's really like the New World Hierophant where people see them as crazy, but they're not. Yes. Another thing about this deck that made it hard for me to use is because I got it pretty early in my tarot reading. He changes the wands to wires, the cups to vials, the swords to arms, and the pentacles to, I think, Zent, which I really like. I like the term Zent because it's so cyberpunk, it's so game. But he also changed the court cards, which made it more suited to the cyberpunk environment. But I couldn't gel with the court cards. Like, I think there's executive. So sometimes I kind of get mixed up between like the queens and the kings, the knights and the pages. I think there's an apprentice and an agent. So the agent is the knights. Sorry, my tongue is all over the place. But in any case, I did enjoy this deck. I enjoyed it while I had it, but I just couldn't take the cardstock. I couldn't take my fingerprints all over the deck. I even itched the deck, and I still enjoy it, but I haven't used it in a while, and I was planning to let it go. I just haven't done it because I don't know if the condition of the cards are really not great. So I myself just keep it and let it be part of my Pixel Occult collection. And who knows, maybe one day I'll come back to this and feel a renewed love for this deck. I still have affection for this deck, but do I love it as much as when I saw it on the screen? I don't think so. Then next came the Wayward Dark Tarot, which I also really enjoy. It comes in a tin. I did a walkthrough of this deck as well. And I love this deck. This deck made me feel a love again for the Thoth. And I really wanted to study the Thoth harder because of this deck. But the glossy nature of this deck really just made me feel disappointed. Like, it's just a small thing. Like, I wish this was a matte cardstock or a linen cardstock. So it's like, I love the art, I love the idea, I love the world building. So it kind of makes it more of a underworld kind of setting. And I also like the pips because they are minimalist but not minimalist. Because if you see the Thoth deck, it is pretty pippish. People saying that the Thoth pips are pippish, but they are. I think it's just facts. I know there's more in the background, things like that, and I do know that there's a lot of symbolism in those pips. But I would say this is the same. This is the same. It's pippish, but it has meaning in the pips and how it's drawn. It shuffles really well. Even though I dropped a few cards earlier, that I feel like that's more on me. I just don't like the gloss. Let me show you. One of my favorite cards in this deck is the Moon. I also really like the Lust card. And this makes me question why later in the Lost Holo Tarot he doesn't have a Lust card. He changes the Thoth Lust to Strength. I should read up more on that. He sent us a longer guidebook, so maybe I should take a deeper look. But I really enjoy this deck. I really enjoy the art. I really feel like it has the right world building. It has the hellish kind of landscape that we all are looking for when we work with the Thoth. Yes. I like the color scheme as well, better than the Neon Moon. Even though I enjoy the pink, it just doesn't come across in print versus on the screen, whereas this really still pops. The colors here still pop. Maybe it's because it's glossy, so it pops more. I really have no idea. But it is what it is. I enjoy this deck and I wish I used it more. I just haven't had the time to really consolidate my thoughts on Thoth yet. And I haven't studied the astrology. I've been talking about it for a year or so. But yeah, I have to prioritize, guys. My career is changing and I really need to keep up on that. I might even need to learn coding soon. So even talking about coding, I do feel like this has that underlying cyber kind of techie feel to these creatures. I'm not sure if that's on purpose. I do feel like Pixel Occult, his name itself is Pixel and Occult, so I feel like it's very tech friendly, all his work. And then the next deck would be the Adorabyssal Oracle, which I really enjoy. I like how it looks. I think it's cute, but I don't really gel well with cute cards anymore. And 36 cards for an Oracle, I don't know if it's enough. At the same time, it's not too expensive. It's still on my wish list. I'm still thinking about getting it someday, just not right now, because I do have a lot of Oracle decks that I don't work with. You can watch my video on all my Oracle decks. I'll put it up somewhere. So the last deck, I would say it's the combination of all his learning thus far. I would say that it is the most pleasing to the touch. It's the cardstock that I can accept the best, and it's the Lost Holo Tarot. You guys should have seen a walkthrough of this recently. I did this quite in detail, and I've used the deck since, so I do enjoy how it works. Because it's linen, even though it has a dark background, it doesn't leave any fingerprints. I enjoy that. And while not every card resonates so strongly with me, a lot of them do. Yes, and it has the same kind of dark magic kind of feeling, same as the Wayward Dark Tarot, but the pips have more images to them. The only niggle that I really had was, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. This was my stalker card when I first joined, when I first started reading tarot, but this one is so beautiful and it's so real and so one of my favorite cards in the deck, along with the Moon, same as Wayward Dark Tarot. I love how he depicts the moon in every single deck. But I kind of lost my train of thought. I feel like this is more of a wilder version of the Wayward Dark Tarot. The Wayward Dark Tarot is a very controlled, hellish landscape, whereas this is more free. The only niggle that I really have again is how he didn't use the word lust, and I really don't know why. James, if you have an explanation, please let me know. If I missed it out in reading it, I'm sorry. Again, I am in the army right now, back in the army for 2 weeks. I don't have access to all my regular stuff. My life is kind of put on hold. Career stuff, everything is on hold. My heart jumps when I talk about my career because there's so many things happening. But yes, a lot of people commented on this card, the Lovers, as well. James really has, I feel like James really is a great artist, and I'm so happy he decided to make tarot decks. He's someone that really studied the art of tarot. You can tell from his art, you can tell from how he arranged things. And I would say that if you want to buy any of his decks, if you want a perfect experience, this would be the one to go because it's the newest one. I'm not sure if he's changing the rest of the card stock to linen as well. I don't know if he has any plans on that. If so, I'll be a bit sad because I wouldn't be able to get those decks just because I already have them. I don't have a good excuse to get the new card stock in a way. If James ever comes up with a Kickstarter campaign again, I think I'll most likely go for it. I would say that I'm the first backer for this one, and I think I'm number 2 for this one, even though I said I didn't want to back anymore because of my debt year, which kind of just went to hell. All 3 I did Kickstarter with James, and all 3 I had a great experience. So I have a lot of faith in him as a Kickstarter creator, and I'm looking forward to see what he creates in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and you guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye!